Part 1, Unit 5. Gateway. When we hear a story, we look for beliefs that are being commented upon. Any story has many possible beliefs inherent in it. But how does someone listening to a story find those beliefs? We find them by looking through the beliefs we already have. We are not as concerned with what we are hearing as we are with finding what we already know that is relevant. Picture it in this way. As understanders, we have a list of beliefs, indexed by subject area. When a new story appears, we attempt to find a belief of ours that relates to it. When we do, we find a story attached to that belief and compare the story in our memory to the one we are processing. Our understanding of the new story becomes, at that point, a function of the old story. Once we find a belief and connected story, we need no further processing. That is, the search for other beliefs stops. Exercise 1. As the technological revolution gathers pace, education and training are thought to be the answer to everything. They are, but we have to understand the question. Educating more people, and to a much higher standard, is vital. But we also have to educate them differently. The problem is that present expansion is based on a fundamental misconception: the confusion of academic ability with intelligence. For years, academic ability has been conflated with intelligence, and this idea has been institutionalized into testing systems, examinations, selection procedures, teacher education, and research. As a result, many highly intelligent people have passed through education feeling they aren't. Many academically able people have never discovered their other abilities. Exercise 2. Food marketing refers to any activity conducted by a company in the food, beverage, or restaurant industry to encourage purchase of its products. Food preferences develop at a very early age, primarily through learning processes. Once established, these eating patterns are difficult to change. Parents are a key influence in the early development of food preferences. However, outside influences become increasingly important, especially during middle childhood and adolescence. Food marketing promotes highly desirable but unhealthy products to youth. The overexposure to food marketing presents a public health issue to youth. Unlike tobacco and alcohol consumption, young people do not need to learn that consuming these foods is rewarding. From birth, humans prefer the taste of foods high in sugar, fat, and salt, i.e., the foods most commonly advertised. Exercise 3. When one or more lions merely walk along, wildebeest raise their heads, cock their ears, snort, and occasionally stamp a foreleg. These signals alert the herd. Wildebeest may stop their constant snorting when a lion approaches, creating a pool of silence that is as effective a stimulus contrast as an alarm snort, especially at night. Usually, prey watch the predator until it moves on, but at times they approach it and keep it under observation. This is called curiosity or fascination. If a lion stops or turns toward them, the animals may wheel, flee a few meters, and look again, keeping the distance between themselves and the lion at about 50 meters. It helps to keep sight of a predator that is mainly dangerous when it is hidden. In contrast, prey do not usually follow wild dogs and hyenas, which hunt openly. Exercise 4. The idea that folk music is a product of nature played an important part in the rise of musical nationalism, and it was part of the complex of ideas at the root of Romantic nationalism. In the German Romantic movement, the folk song was considered an expression of the purely human. Instead of being universal, however, that expression was thought to vary from one nation to the next. Folk song was considered a reflection of the particular mystical characteristics of a people, and to go back to times immemorial. In this scheme, the division of mankind into nations was a natural fact. Every nation was said to have its own deep-rooted identity, its national soul. Folk music was believed to be the clearest expression of the national character, a typical feature enshrined in every nation.